In this video I would like to say something really important. How fear manifesting in our life. I can say this because I go really deep into that. I change polarity of my mind to see that. And through years I struggle to come out from that, to face many of those entities, many of those appearances, illusions, to just a little understand how fear manifesting, how fear showing up to us humans, so we cannot recognize reality for what it is. Those who come out from that, those who manage to purify their mind, and there is no trace of negativity there, perhaps see that. But those who have still negative minds, where they are different kind of entities, post-traumatic stress disorders, different past traumas, many different kind of fears, don't see reality as it is. We see that reality through some kind of filter, which from time to time, in order for it to purify itself, in order for it to clear itself, it must manifest as a kind of scary monster, scary fear, scary illusion. And if we keep reacting to those in negative ways, forcefully, if we have no tools, if we have no space, no purified space, no transparent space inside, that warm space, that godly spark, then we have no tools to fight that. And every approach and fighting with that will finish in creating more fear. But if we choose the ways of purification, prayers, meditation, if we emerging in this space inside, if we slowly transforming it, want to understand how this function, then finally we increase in that warm, powerful space inside, that field inside. And with that field, with that godly spark, we can face those fears, stronger and stronger fears. I remember myself many years back, when I was simply spiritually weak person. I've been exposed to many of those fears. I've been attacked by them. And what I could only do with that, to take that on myself, I could not fight that, because I was simply weak. There was no space in me, no positive energy. There was negativity in me, lots of negativities. So every time something like that attacked me, when I wanted to respond, I seen I am hopeless. I cannot fight that. I simply try to fight fear with fear, which didn't work out. So I developed thick skin and simply stopped responding to those attacks, to those harassments, and they happening from people I love, from closest people, from people I didn't knew. I've been many times attacked on the street, in the clubs, from simply no reason. I had simply hostile enemy inside, hostile entity inside, which simply wanted to kill me. Sometimes one thing in life you do, hostile life, without no knowledge, without knowing how this world is, and you turning polarity of your mind from positive into negative, that mind becoming hostile, that mind become threat to you, to your existence. So those people who killing, they turning their mind into hostile entity. And later it's behaving in such a way that from time to time it presenting them illusion that their environment is hostile. People around are hostile. People around are threat to them. So they starting fighting that never-ending vicious cycle. They have no power and tools to deal with those things. Not at all. For example, my experience today, I've got very loving, caring my mother, and I know she protect me entire life. Many times she carried me when I was ill to hospitals on her hands. Many times support me when I could not support myself, and so on and so on. But how this illusion in the mind, that negative traces in the mind behaving, that somehow, sometimes, my mom coming home, for example, today from shopping, and suddenly I feel like barrier and some kind of fear towards my mom. And I looking at my mom and I see like she's very, very unhappy or angry at me that, for example, I didn't went to work because I decided to stay at home because I'm ill. But that mind creating that hostile environment, hostile illusion to just threat me. And many people responding to those and fighting with those experiences, and they creating more because they don't understand what's happening. And what is happening in this world is we got those negativities inside, and those creating illusions in our life, and we don't understand them, and we fighting and creating more. That might become intelligent in creating illusion towards us. Once we got some negativity inside and no spiritual power, no spiritual transparency inside, it creating illusion, and we quite often catching ourselves in this matrix puzzle, and we fighting with those. When we fighting with those, we creating more and more and more till it become dense and really hostile. That's what we observing now in Ukraine. And between Ukraine and Russia is simply example of that hostility. Like hate create more hate, fight create more fight. And when we cross certain lines and borders, we don't know anymore what is reality. We carry on inside hostile energy inside, hostile entities, and they acting against us, against others people, and we don't see actual reality how it is. That quite often people are in threat. We see in the news how news function quite often, how many false informations are passed in last 2-3 years, how many false information about COVID was, where this come from. That is exactly that hostile part of mind which creating this. It's creating illusions. Sometimes it's creating illusion for bigger scale, and sometimes it's creating illusion in close hours environment. And it's really hard to sometimes see through that. You need to see it over and over and over, trying to puzzle yourself what's going on, what is this, what this COVID was about, what this nonsense was about. Many of those informations. Perhaps there was that illness, people died, people dying since ages for different flu, but how it was, it come out at the end, that there was so many stupid things in this, stupid rules. That is that hostile mind which creating illusion. And wars are also created this way. There is some element in the mind, this so-called egoic mind, this Satan, which want us to be in the fight. This is like element in the mind which holding some energy, negative energy, and bigger energy there is, the bigger illusion there is in our mind, the harder for us to recognize reality for what is. we all need to implement some practices, methods like prayers, meditation, to recognize what we have inside, with what we're dealing, we all. Otherwise we never ever will be able to see who is our friend, who is enemy. Obviously, when you sow only love inside, you don't see enemies. You see just some element in the mind which is really enemy, which turn those people, so they identifying with this. We are in the root loving people, but because we don't understand that we identifying with our hostile mind, that element which trying to deceive us, create illusion. So we're gonna fight with each other, we're gonna bump each other, harass each other, abuse each other, steal from each other. That war going on since endless time, since beginningless time. And it is our duty to clear that core, to see that. And it's require a lot of energy, because many of us at this present time and state of mind are deep in darkness. So small trigger can pull in us aggression and anger. That's how this mind behave for many of us. We are unhappy from really no reason. We can fight from really no reason. And many of those activities, those behaviors become normal for us, which that is not normal at all. We've been conditioned in our mind. So we see illusion, we see through dark filter. That is true about present world. About group illusion, we see illusion quite often. And we follow that illusion and we fight for that illusion. Brother fight with brother. We have love, that spark from God inside, from Allah, from existence, and that is able to clear and purify that hostility, that darkness inside. But we need to understand that we need God in our life, we need Allah in our life, existence in our life. Like the saying, God no need us, we need God. We need to purify that core. Salam alaikum.